Good morning, students. Today again, I am with you all, and especially for the students who are going to appear in the examination tomorrow, means 13th of this month, for the subject of English for term 2. My dear students, first of all, I want to wish you all best of luck for tomorrow. But at the same time, being a teacher, I intend to help you know the tools and techniques to manage the time and the proper ways to deal with the question paper during the examination. Today, I have not touched upon the explanation of any chapter because I know that you might have completed all the chapters well. So there is no need to explain anything more, but there is a need to tell you about the time management and the proper ways to deal with the question paper. But my request is to all of you to listen to this video from the beginning to the end. Only then this video will be immensely helpful for all of you, and you will be able enough to manage your time and use the proper ways to deal with the question paper. As you know that our question paper has mainly 3 sections. The first one is reading section, the second one is writing section, and the last one or the third one is literature section. My dear students, off and on, I have received such type of comments from the children, from the students, that some of the students say that they are unable to manage the time, and especially the reading section takes a lot of time. Of course, because it is the section which is quite new and unknown to us. The rest of the 2 sections, the writing section, we have done the practice so many times. Literature sections, we are quite known to them because we have answered the questions of those chapters so many times. So these 2 sections, means writing section and literature sections, are well known to us. But quite unknown and unfamiliar, unseen is our reading section, and that's why it takes a lot of time. But there is a technique to deal with the reading section. It's clear that it's quite unknown, unfamiliar, and unseen. So we have to begin with the reading section first. Don't begin with the writing section or literature section. If you are comfortable, if you are quite sure that you can manage the time, then you can go with those sections. But it is my advice to all of you that we should start with the unknown part. We should start with the unfamiliar section of the question paper, and that is only our reading section. Now the question is there, how to deal with, how to read the passage, what to do with the reading section. Here I am with the advice and the technique for all of you. And before that, I would like to tell you one thing, that the time for reading the question paper is given by CBSE. So I would like to suggest you all to make the use of that reading time for the reading section first, because this is quite unknown to us. Now the question is, how to read the passage? I would like to advise you all that you just go through the questions first. You see what kind of questions are given there, what are the questions and what you have to do. Reading the questions will help you prepare your road map to deal with the passage. And that is called targeted reading. You have a target. You have seen your target, that you have to do these many things. And you have to do the things in that way as the questions have been given. So first of all, you have to see the pattern of the questions. You have to see the questions first, and then you have to go into the passage. And at the time of reading the passage, just you try to locate the answers of those questions which we have seen. Don't underline the lines there. Don't write anything on the question paper, because as per the instruction, you are not supposed to write anything on the question paper. Just you try to locate them in the paras of the passage. You keep them located. And at the time of writing the answers, you just take those lines from there, you convert those lines in your own language. Because we have seen that so many students are there, just they copy the lines from the text and they paste those lines in their answer sheets. But it's not a good habit. And this way will make the examiner irritated. And you may be in a loss. You will create a bad impression of yourself there. And that's why you just try to locate the answers in the passage. And at the time of writing the answers, you take those lines, you convert those lines in your own way, and then write the answers in your answer sheets. So for reading the passage, we have to see the questions first, and then you have to read the passage. Generally what happens, the children just after receiving the question paper, they start reading the passage. They don't know what to do with the passage. Again they are going into an unknown world. Uncharted map is there. So you have to see the road map first, and then you should start your journey. You see the questions first, and after seeing the questions, you will come to know what you have to do, and accordingly, you have to go into the passage and locate the things which you need. So in this way, we can deal with the reading section, seeing the questions first, then going into the passage. And if you go into the passage first and then you see the questions, again you will have to go back into the passage to find out the answers. So it will take much more time. In this way you will waste your time. Double investment is there. So why are you choosing that kind of path? Because this is not a common reading, this is a targeted reading. So we have to see the target first. And then we have to go into the passage and we have to come up with the answers of those questions which have been given over there. And if you apply this technique, I think you will see that there is a magical effect and you will be able to save your time. So in this way, you have to deal with the reading section, and this is the technique from my side to deal with the reading section. Now the second section is there, writing section. We have done a lot of practice. We are well familiar with the writing section. But for the syllabus, we have to see that as per our syllabus, we have to do formal or informal invitation or replies for the short writing task. Now here, I am going to suggest you a technique that you have to do for this writing task, formal or informal invitation or replies. You have to do only 3 things. Then you will never commit a mistake. The very first thing is that at the time of reading the question, you have to see, you have to ensure whether it is an invitation or a reply. The very first thing. And when you ensure it that it is an invitation or a reply, then the second step is that you have to find out whether it is a formal one or an informal one. The second step. The first step, to find out whether it is an invitation or a reply. The second one is that you have to find out after reading the question paper that you have to write a formal one or an informal one. The third thing is that if it is a reply, then you have to see again whether it is an acceptance to the invitation or it's a refusal to the invitation. And when you ensure all these three things, only in 3 steps, invitation or reply, formal or informal, or if it's a reply, then you have to see whether it is an acceptance to the invitation or a refusal one. After ensuring all these 3 things, you have to apply the format, you have to apply the language, the content which makes it formal or informal. But 3 things you have to think. Sometimes we see that it's a refusal, but the children are writing in the way as it is an acceptance to the invitation. So we have to ensure all these 3 things first. First of all, we have to ensure whether it is an invitation or a reply. Then we have to ensure whether it's a formal one or an informal one. And if it's a reply, the third one, then we have to see whether it is an acceptance or a refusal. These 3 things you have to apply for the short writing task. And you will see that if you ensure all these things, then within a short span of time, you will cover the question. The second writing task is our long writing task, and that is an application for a job or a report writing. An application for a job or a report writing. Out of these 2 things, the children prefer an application for a job to report writing. Am I sure or not? Most of the children, 99% children prefer to write an application for a job in place of writing a report, because it appears easier to them and they have written the latest application so many times, and that's why they think that they are capable enough to write the application for a job. But here I would like to make you alert. Over the years I have seen that some of the children misread the question, and because of misreading the question, misunderstanding develops. Sometimes I have seen that the children have written even the advertisement in place of writing an application for a job, because they fail to understand, because they have already done the advertisement in class 11 and they think that it is an advertisement for a job. But I am going to make you alert, I am going to make you informed that there is no space of any advertisement in class 12. Only you have to write an application for a job. Yes, question may be given. Suppose one advertisement is given over there, but the question is tagged after the advertisement that on the basis of this advertisement you have to write an application for a job. And you know the format. You have the format for writing an application for a job, but at the same time you must know that attaching biodata or resume or CV, curriculum vitae, is also a part of writing an application for a job. So not only application, but also attachment of biodata or resume or CV is a part of writing an application for a job. Because as per the division of the marks, if you don't attach biodata, if you don't write biodata after writing an application, then you may lose the marks. So don't think that only application will be there. Attachment of biodata will also be there. So you have to ensure that after writing the application, you have attached your biodata there. So in this way, writing an application for a job, we have to adopt the ways that we have to write the application first, then we have to attach the biodata over there, you have to write the biodata attachments there, we have to write the biodata after writing the application, and in this way we can deal with this question. The next one is report writing. My dear children, report writing generally is for two things, for the newspaper and for the magazine. And you might have been taught how to write a report for the newspaper because it has day, date, place, attractive heading should be there, reporter's name should be there. But for the magazine, we need only eye-catching heading. Day, date, place is not required, just like the newspaper. You might have seen in the newspaper also the reports. And you might have been taught by your teachers. So out of these two questions, the children prefer to write an application for a job. Now, the vital section, the important section is our literature. Well, we are well familiar with the literature section. We know each and everything about the chapters. And we are able enough to write the answers of each and every question. But generally there are two ways to write the answers. First of all, you have to think that English literature you are going to deal with. This is not science. Suppose one question is there that how did the crofter give the treatment to the peddler in the chapter The Rat Trap? We generally write the answers that the crofter was also living all alone, so he also was also in the need of some company to spend his time. So he welcomed the peddler, he offered him tea, tobacco, supper. Okay, this answer is acceptable. Your answer is not wrong. Just imagine all the children will write the same answers in the same way. Then what is the way to attract the examiner towards yourself? Means your answer sheet. How will you deal with the answers in a different way, but in a proper way? Not only the facts are needed there, you must give a literary touch to your answer. Just you begin this answer with that this was the door of the crofter which opens to the peddler in a welcoming way. And then you write those answers, those lines. Your very first line will impress your examiner so much that that examiner will feel forced to award you more and more marks. Will treat your answer sheet especially. That some weight, some importance you have attached, some beauty you have attached to your answer. Don't you think that this was only one door in the life of the peddler which opens for him in a welcoming way? Otherwise, other doors were quite shut. So if you write that this was the only one door which opens to the peddler in a welcoming way, and this was the door of the crofter. Just like you, from the same chapter, Edla is there. Her father tried his best to convince the peddler to become the guest on the occasion of Christmas, but he was not successful. Then why did Edla become successful? one word is used there in the story, and that is persuasive power. And the writer had mentioned over there that Edla had more persuasive power than her father. And if you write simply, Edla showed sympathy, Edla requested the peddler, and the peddler accepted the request, it will not fetch you good marks. It will be an answer just like other children might be writing over there. But your answer should be a different one, but a proper one. You have to add only the real things, actual things. So there we have to begin the answer with this line, as we know that Edla had more persuasive power than her father, so became successful in persuading. If you attach this word persuade, persuasive power, taken from the text, then the examiner will come to know, oh, this child has some knowledge about the words also used in the text. And your answer sheet will be a special one. Your answer sheet, your answer will satisfy the examiner. Means, just like you take the example of, should wizard hit mommy? You can take the example of indigo. In indigo, generally the question comes, how can you say that Champaran movement was a turning point in the life of Gandhi? Children write the story. Facts. Gandhi went there, he did that kind of thing, he fought for the sharecroppers. If you are using the words used in the text, just like it was Gandhi whose arrival brought an end to the deadlock existing in Champaran. Deadlock, this word has been used there in the text. And sometimes I have seen that the children write the answers in a different way. But the question says that you have to justify the statement that how was Champaran movement a turning point in the life of Gandhi. So we have to say that earlier Gandhi was a leader of a small frame, but it was the Champaran movement which provided him a platform to stand as a national hero, as a national leader. He became the leader of the mass. He experimented so many things there. And really this gave a new turn to the life of Gandhi. And that's why it was a turning point in the life of Gandhi. The second question comes there, how can you say that Champaran movement was not only political? One word is used there, my dear children. I am going to help you recall that very word, and that is intertwine. His movement was not only political, it was intertwined with some other movements also. The social, educational. It was not only political achievement he got, that the sharecropping was over. The English people became ready to refund. But there was an extension to this movement also. And when the deadlock was over there, and then he started his movement for the upliftment of the people. He wanted to remove the social backwardness. It was an extension to that movement, political movement. It was not only political. So you have to use that very word. Intertwine. That his movement was intertwined with other movements also. So my dear children, I am just going to share with you the proper ways how to attract the examiner, how to present your answers in a different way, in an attractive way. If you are using the textual words sometimes, if you are giving a touch of beauty to your answer. When I gave you the example that it was only one door to the peddler which opens to him in a welcoming way, have I used any difficult word? I haven't used any difficult word. I have just made the proper arrangement of the words in an attractive way. So in an attractive way, you have to make the arrangement of the words just to impress your examiner. Suppose 10 questions I have to write. Out of those 10 questions, I have given the touch of beauty to only 5 questions, 6 questions. Your answer sheet will be a special one. So in this way, you can deal with your question paper. Now at the end, I am going to sum it up that first of all you have to make the use of your reading time for the reading section, because that section is quite unknown to you, unseen, unfamiliar, and that's why you have to start with the reading section. And for reading session, you have to see the questions first, you have to see your target, and then you concentrate your reading on the target. Then you have to come to writing section and then literature section. So it is my suggestion, and suggestion is always suggestive. I am not going to force you to follow my word, but if you apply these tools and technique, then I think that you can manage your time and you can deal with the questions in a proper way, and in this way you can impress your examiner. That will help you fetch good marks in the examination. So best of luck to all of you. Be confident. Don't leave any question undone. Attempt all the questions. Do the revision if anything is left. So best of luck again. My best wishes are with you all. Thanks to all of you.